Boston Music, and I'm here with the X Ambassadors.
I'm Sam.
I'm Adam.
I'm Casey.
Yes, and we're here at the Bootleg Theater, and we're going to have our lovely interview with them. So, how did the band form, and how did it get its name?
Well, we formed, Casey and I are brothers, and we've been playing music together since we were very young. Noah, our guitar player, who's upstairs right now, I met him when I was in kindergarten.
Oh.
And we started playing music together when we were in middle school. I had our first band in middle school. Casey ended up joining the band in high school. We were not called X Ambassadors at that time. We were called the Fuzz Brothers.
Fuzz Brothers, or
Fuzz
Subject
Brothers.
to Change for a while.
Subject to Change was first, and then it was Fuzz Brothers. And then we all moved to New York, and that's where we met Adam at the new school, in the freshman dorms. I heard he was a drummer, and so I slipped a demo of our music under his door, and he didn't think it was too terrible. It was so terrible. I'm so surprised that you guys
It's still terrible.
It's still great. Yeah, we did great.
No.
Yeah, and then we would jam throughout college, and then after college we decided, okay, this is something we really want to take seriously, and went to the studio, cut an EP, and then the wheels just started turning from there. So that was like about 2010. So it's been 4 years since we've been really since we have been the X Ambassadors. And the name, you can tell the story.
Yeah, so I had a drum head, which is called an ambassador drum head, and we were trying forever to choose a name, and we were at the point where we were just looking at objects and like, oh, what about vase or picture? So we were at the point of desperation.
Straws grasping.
So I looked at my drum head and it said ambassador, and so I said, how about ambassadors? So we stuck with that name for 3 years, and then when we got signed with Interscope, we had to change our name for legal reasons. There were other ambassadors out there.
There are like 7 of them or something.
Yeah.
So we put the X in front of it, and now we're the X
The
ambassadors.
rest is history.
There's not much significance with the X.
No.
We need to make them a better story, guys.
Except for the fact that it was close. We wanted to keep it close to the old band because we had put in a lot of work promoting that band and our band. But yeah, that's how.
So that was a very long-winded response.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's still a great response. Like, oh, it's a part of the drum thing.
Yeah, the drum head.
The drum head.
Exactly. We could have been Emperor, but there's already a death metal band.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, could have been like X Emperor though.
Yeah.
That's true.
You never know.
Big dethroned.
Side project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so what is your favorite song to perform for each of you?
Oh man, Casey, you want to start?
That's a hard question. I don't know. If I was forced to pick one,
If someone had a gun to your
if someone had a gun to my head, I would say, I have no idea.
You'd be dead.
I would be
Yeah.
dead by,
Yeah.
this would be over, man. My life is forfeit.
Just choose any.
I don't know, Stranger?
Cool.
Yeah, that's
Love that.
I
I
random
would say Stranger. too.
random song name off the top of my head though.
I would say the same. I really like playing that one. Especially we added some we expanded it a little bit for live. So it's exciting to play again. We played it for a year. It's always, you're usually most excited about the most current song to play live because all the other ones you've been playing for so long.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that one we've kind of revamped a little bit, so we're excited to play that one tonight.
I'm excited to hear it. That's one of my favorite songs.
That's
Thank you.
really cool. Free and Lonely, I think, is my favorite. Just because I love the saxophone line that I came up with at the end of it, and that's always fun. And it's in our show, it's the first time that I pull the saxophone out and people see that I can play it. So.
Well, yeah, because like during soundtrack, like, what? I didn't know you played saxophone. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so for Twitter and Facebook and social media, is it really one of you four responding on there?
Oh man, I don't want to give away the mystery of it.
Okay, then.
Yeah,
So just-
you'll never know.
It's probably one of us.
so,
It's probably one of us.
Probably, but you'll have to keep guessing.
Maybe it's just a ghost in the machine. Who knows?
That would always be fantastic. And so I'm going to ask you a question about two songs. And so The Business and Litos?
Litos.
Litos, yeah. I really would love to know the story of both songs because Litos is very dark, it's very painful, and it kind of, but it's beautiful at the same time. And it seems more like the person's willing to stay within that pain. Whereas with the business, it seems more liberating and more inspiring, and they get out of that. And quite frankly, I want to know like what the meaning or the stories behind both of them, but I might just be nice to say you could choose one.
No, I'll tell you both. I mean, real quick, so for Litos, that was a song I wrote about an ex-girlfriend of mine, and it was not the greatest relationship. It was, a lot of me making sacrifices for her, and it was, a little, it was not a symbiotic relationship. It was, I don't want to say a parasitic relationship, because that's a little too hard. But, yeah, but there was a desperation in me at that point. I really wanted to be involved with someone, so I just kept, I kept kind of coming back to it, and yeah, it was rough. I thank God I am out of that phase of my life now. But yeah, it was, it was a rough time. But with the business, but hey, I got a good song out of it.
Well, yeah.
The business is actually, it's kind of, we're at a point now, we're all in our mid-20s, and a lot of our friends, who we went to school with, who chose to pursue careers in the arts, a lot of them are coming to the sad realization that a lot of artists come to, is that it's really almost like nearly impossible to sustain, and for a lot of people I know, they've had to give up these dreams that they pursued. And I wanted to write something for them that kind of was saying that it's okay, it's okay to move on to the next chapter in your life. And there's something exciting about that. There's something exciting about figuring out, okay, what else am I good at? What else can I do? I guess this dream didn't work out. I guess maybe I'll have to go get a normal job, but maybe I'll really find a normal job that I really like. And it's just kind of like wiping the slate clean and moving on.
Yeah, that's
to
kind of
bigger
the
and
vibes
better
I got
things.
from that song. Like,
Yeah.
I really loved it for that reason.
Yeah.
Reason like that.
Thank you.
And so, what was the concept the concept behind Unconditional?
Unconsolable.
Unconsolable? See? Messed it up.
Unconsolable
It's not
was
words.
one of the earlier songs that we wrote, actually, and it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a song about brotherhood and camaraderie, because we are essentially a band of brothers, and it was kind of an ode to that. And also, it's a song. It's a little bit about my hometown, where we grew up in Ithaca. That's where Noah and Casey and Adam grew up actually here in Noah.
Where is Ithaca?
Ithaca is upstate New York, like 4 hours
Where
upstate.
Cornell University
Yeah.
is based at,
Oh.
that's what it's famous for.
So
Over
it's in-
by yonder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a dreary little college town in the middle of nowhere, but it's a small town, and when you're a kid growing up in a small town, you get in a lot of weird trouble, that you probably wouldn't get into, or maybe you would. You probably get into even worse shit in a big
get
city.
into
Yeah,
worse
you
shit.
get
Yeah,
it.
totally.
Yeah.
I can believe
So
it.
it's about that kind of.
Okay, well, I mean, you can kind of see that in the video because it had the parallel with the older guy and it had the parallel with the guy's friend as well. So it was really nice form of brotherhood. It was very symbolic.
They're actually brothers.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
really?
supposed to be brothers.
See,
It's okay,
see,
we'll
like
hang
that? Alright, and then as a rock band, you have a lot of positive music and everything. And so how does positive influence your style and what you put out?
Yeah, and that's surprising to me.
No, alright, here's the thing, right? It's very, I was listening to it a lot. A lot of it is very deep and emotional and dark, but then you kind of have a positive outlook and a positive vibe towards it that you can kind of move behind it, move
Yeah.
beyond it.
That's good. That's very good. I'm glad you picked up on that. Because I do have a an optimistic view of the world. You know, as bad as things get, you know, there's always a way to turn it around. There's always another side to it. And you know, we've all seen, you know, been through a lot. And you know, I mean, this may sound a little tacky, but music is one of many things that can help get you through it. Yeah, and it's therapeutic. And I really want that to be, you know, I don't want us just to be some moody, pessimistic band. You know, I want people to leave our shows or you know, listen to our music and feel like they can, you know, that everything's gonna be all right. And maybe the song is not saying that directly. Maybe the song is saying like everything is not all right, but at least, you know, we all are in this together.
Right.
You know, that's the kind of feeling.
I
You want our
recall
music
that was listening to it. I was listening to it with my little sister, and she was completely enjoying it and everything. She was like, "What is that?" Like, "It's see okay."
Great.
Awesome.
That's good to hear.
And then, so did you guys go to Brooklyn or live in Brooklyn at some point in time of your lives?
We're based out of there now.
Been there for like years and years now.
Yeah, probably 7 years. But yeah, you know, we really again, we all grew up in Ithaca, and growing up in a small town, and even, you know, Adam, you grew up in kind of the suburbs of LA a little bit, you know.
You're in Angelino. Oh, the
Yeah.
valley? What? Where in the valley?
Studio City.
It's that suburban kind of.
No, that's great.
It's
Can't hate
not,
on the valley. Oh.
I can, but you know what? I want to
Everyone-
hate on Studio
Everyone
City.
loves to hate it. It's pretty
Dude, I
nice.
love the
Studio City, that's.
Studio City.
But beyond that, no.
No, I know. It gets bad, but Studio
like-
City's a nice little.
It's like 100 degrees and it's green, so it's humid and beautiful and weird. And I was like, this is not LA right now. So when you say that growing up in Ithaca had a stronger influence than being in Brooklyn?
Yeah, man. I mean, like,
Very
I'd
traveling.
say that our music is more heavily influenced by what we were listening to when we were in high school and middle school, and going, you know, the older we get, the more we kind of find that those are our real musical roots. Like, we all, again, you know, we all grew up listening to whatever was on the radio, because we didn't have a really big music scene, live music scene in Ithaca, small town, so we were exposed to what the rest of the country was exposed to, you know. And that was hip hop and R&B. And, you know, moved out here, or moved out to Brooklyn, and you know, the music scene is very sophisticated there and really great. And I picked up on so many new bands that I never would have, you know, found out about. We all did, by living there. But it's funny, you know, for us, I think, yeah, the older we get, the more music that we tend to write, the more we realize that it's really harkening back to the stuff we were listening to when we were younger. So that's really important. So that's why we say we really hail from Ithaca.
And then ex-pastors were a candy. Which candy were they?
That's another really hard question. I don't know. I would go with the what is called the Bass Break. That's my jam. All right.
Fast break.
Bass Break. Yeah. You represent that edible underweed. Yeah. There you go, dude. That was the right answer.
And then, so you're about to go on tour with Current Heights on the East Coast. So
Yeah.
what would you say, basically, what is your security blanket that you're bringing with you on tour?
It's all me.
Yeah.
This dude's my bouncer.
Yeah. I'm a security.
I don't know. I think it'd probably be a bad influence for us to talk about our security blanket. Not something most people should hear about.
No, I mean, like, do
I need to get a new pair, man. These are
Gotta be a
getting
little
worn out.
classier.